As the international break is heading to a closure, we're finding out that Newcastle are planning to sign our star players to big contracts. Are we consolidating power? And what does this mean for the future on and off the pitch for Newcastle United? Find out right here on Toon Tactics TV, folks.
Oh, brilliant from Shea. And now Murphy can take on the shot. Fabian Shea with
All right, all right, all right. I hope you're all well, folks. I hope you are all absolutely blessed. As always, it's a blessing to be doing this show with all you guys and all things to be talking about all things Newcastle United. And by the way, congratulations to England, qualified for the World Cup with a great victory over Latvia. And we're going to be talking about the internationals a little bit later on in the show. We want to find out how our boys did, not only if they're health wise, it looks like it's good in terms of them coming back healthy, but also any other has amongst some of them there's been a little bit of controversy, but mainly some good performances. So we're going to be talking about that. But I want to be talking about our oncoming. We're going to be talking about contracts or the rumors of new contracts for the likes of some of our big players. But also, we're going to take a little bit more kind of a wider look of our other contract situations when Newcastle are right with that. As well, coming up to summer 2026, January 2026, but probably mid summer 2026. What does that mean for Newcastle on and off the pitch? And then we'll head into talking about the internationals and seeing what players we're going to get back as well, because that will prime us nicely for the Thursday show. We're going to be doing a match preview for Brighton as well. So, what's brought all of this on? Let's go straight to Mark Douglas. As you guys know, he is one of my favorite journalists because he is very, very balanced, in my opinion. Certainly tries to be. And he has, obviously, now Paul Mitchell's gone. I believe that was one of his main sources at Newcastle. Obviously, Paul Mitchell has gone now. So I am going to be asking myself, with this new report, who is likely to have leaked, if anybody, this information to him? What are they trying to communicate? Why now, essentially? And yeah, what is the overall impact they're looking for? So, what are we talking about? Well, let's see it here. It's the Newcastle to reward three. Hold on, let me get my. Here we go. Yeah, we got it on order. Right. So Newcastle United to reward. Here, let me come back. Sorry. Here we go. Newcastle United to reward 3 stars with new deal once Forest transfer guru arrives. Rob Wilson is set to be appointed as Paul Mitchell's successor. Now, already that answers some of my questions in terms of, and I haven't actually read this article in detail, mainly the headlines and everything else. So I'm already this is quite fresh for me. Answering the question on why now and what's the impact. Well, it's quite clear to me what it is. It's with the announcement of Ross Wilson, obviously our soon to be or already set to be appointed a successor to Paul Mitchell. So I'm already thinking that this is club sources that are releasing this information to Mr. Douglas, and it is to pave the way, to lay the groundwork, if anything, for Mr. Wilson's arrival, and to make sure that it's a successful initial arrival with the fans, with the media and everybody else, to say, look, hey, we've got not only a new sporting director. I think it's our 3rd sporting director now in this, in his like 4 years since the takeover. So it's important but also he's new. He's this transfer guru apparently and everything else. So, and he is he's going to be, he's the groundwork has been set for him to be very, very successful, is what they're saying. Now, we did do a uh, profile of Mr. Wilson in another show as well. So do look out for that. I wish I actually put the title on it. And so I do actually rate Wilson. I don't know, for me, the jury's is 50-50 on whether he's a transfer guru or not. I think it's a hit and miss. But it is for a lot of sporting directors. I think his main strengths lie mainly in his operations in the background, and kind of like laying the groundwork, and kind of putting the various different departments together and everything else. But we're going to get into that. And already got folks in the chat. Good to see you, BT. God bless you. Good evening, Philip, and all in the chat. Good evening to you, sir. Hope you're well. Smokey, you'll never walk alone. Always a blessing to see you. God bless you, sir. Hi, Philip. Hi, Philip, bro. Evening to you, sir. Hope you guys are blessed. Hope you guys are absolutely blessed. Right. So let's get into this article. Obviously, like I said, I feel like it's laying on the groundwork for Mr. Wilson, hence why we know this information, hence why this information is coming to us. And I think it's probably coming up from somebody in that hierarchy of Newcastle United. So, Newcastle to reward 3 stars with new deals once Forest transfer guru arrives. Ross Wilson is set to be appointed as Paul Mitchell's successor, with a big headline picture of Mr. Tonali, because that is one of the big names that are linked. This is obviously in October the 10th. I keep saying obviously, but 4 days prior to that, prior to today, essentially was when we kind of got this information. And Mr. Douglas is one of the folks that I've wrote about, as well as other transfer journalists as well. The Newcastle United have a fresh progress as they look to finalise the appointment of a new sporting director, a role viewed as the missing piece in the jigsaw of their football department. Yes, a missing piece, yes, for sure, but also, how do I say it? It has to be a tailor-made piece, because Newcastle, as we all know, have grown as an organization, as a hierarchy, as an infrastructure. So it's going to take quite a special. It's going to take the right fit. It's not just a jigsaw fit. It's going to take the right fit for Newcastle, in my opinion. But let me know what you guys think. The club hope is to secure the appointment of Ross Wilson, which I think has been confirmed. It has been confirmed. Sorry, it was a website. I know it's the Newcastle official website. Who is the chief football officer at Nottingham Forest, or was now, before the end of the month. And it's understood the deal is now at an advanced stage, which I think we find out that it's actually triggered a release clause at a certain time period. And you can see how respectful Newcastle have handled that business as well, in my opinion. Newcastle have been operating without sporting director since Paul Mitchell departed back in May, right before the transfer window began. Mr. Mitchell, thank you. Goodness, apologies for the sarcasm, but the timing was absolutely atrocious. The job is viewed as crucial by majority owners PIF, who have been the driving force behind changes in the football department during the 2025 that have included the creation of a new technical director post and promoting Jack Ross to head of football strategy. Now, that's very interesting. Look, the job is viewed as crucial by the majority of PIF. Now, I don't know if Mr. Douglas is doing this, saying that out of his opinion and kind of previous information, or this is what the source is telling him as well. Because I think that line about how the majority owners see it, PIF see as PIF, is crucial. Now, I'm not saying that Eddie Howe doesn't see it as crucial. I think he does. Obviously, he highlighted how important it is, especially when Paul Mitchell left. But the fact that PIF are kind of sounded out on this lets me know possibly where some of the information came from, but also the importance of kind of building the structure for a PIF is that they're saying that this is firmly what we want. This is what we really, really want in terms of like how we want to build the kind of the structure of Newcastle United. They go on to say Newcastle assembled an interim football team during a difficult summer in the transfer window with Eddie Howe's nephew, Andy, effectively acting as the de facto sporting director, while co-owner Ruben also took a frontline role in finalizing moves, and it was all hands to the pump when it came to the transfer window. And look, I've almost erased it from my mind, but I obviously, for the sake of the show, I have to bring back all the memories of the stresses of that transfer window. Not only the constant news on the rejections or false news or misinformation on news on rejections, Isak drama, drawn out transfer windows, and then when we do get the player, is he the right player? He's just an Eddie Howe player. All of that kind of played out. The usual, the kind of the usual kind of, and look, fine, kind of accusations of nepotism and Andy Howe this and Andy Howe that. Overall, I thought him, Jamie Rubin, Eddie Howe did the best they could with what they had, and they did a fantastic job in the players so far they've brought in. And obviously, that's still the jury's still out on that. We're still going to wait to see how good that transfer window is going to be. But yeah, I still think that we did the best with what we had in terms of that window as well. So you see it, Mr. Mark Douglas is laying out the front work there, reminding us of the past, but also of the future, but also explaining us everything as to what Ross Wilson, our sporting director, is coming into and what he's doing. So after suffering some high profile, funnily enough, like I said, I haven't even read this article. And Mr. Douglas goes on to say, after suffering some high-profile knockbacks, which we just talked about, in their pursuit of players, Newcastle ended the summer by brokering a club record deal for Nick Votamada, reminding folks, hey, after all the ups and downs of that transfer window, hey, remember we got Mr. Votamada, alongside moves for Johan Wissa and Malik Chow. But that was only ever intended as a temporary solution. And Newcastle want to get their ducks in a row well ahead of the next transfer window in January. Now, that's very, very, very interesting. I didn't expect that part. He's laid out the context here. And again, it's all, and you guys can tell me like how much of this is Douglas, what is it, the information he's getting, how he's kind of, how his conversation went. But he's just giving us the background on Ross Wilson's coming in, ups and downs of the previous window. Ross Wilson's the final piece of that. And then finally saying, look, we are getting well prepared. So remember, this article initially is the main crux of this article is about the contract extensions for our key star players. But he's actually gone on to talk about, hey, Newcastle United are getting ready for the January transfer window. Right, which is really, really interesting. I was thinking about the summer transfer window. So he's laid it all out and say, hey, Mr. Wilson's already, we've got him well in advance. We're getting our ducks in a row. We've got everybody in place. We're ready for the transfer window. That's the key message I'm already getting from this window as well. And I've got already folks in the chat as well. Good to see you. Aaron, good to see you. God bless you. Got your own, is that your X account? Let me know. I'll make sure I follow you. Good evening, Philip. Hope everyone is well. And Adrian Pickett too. God bless. How come I'm seeing everybody's like account names and that? It's mad. Even though sometimes what do you call it? Thingy does that though. StreamYard does that. I'm just hoping for stability. Aaron says, I'm just hoping for stability with his appointment and alignment. Well, just as you said that, that's exactly what this article is trying to give us. I don't want any more issues 1 year down the line and the sporting director leaves. Exactly. Liam Knowles, good to see you, Liam. God bless you. It was an easy steal. He was overlooked by the permanent role for Edu coming in. Edu, happy for him to leave. We saw an inroad and took it. Exactly. I like that. It was strategic. It was a strategic acquisition or procurement. I don't know. Aaron says, Forest fans seem to be gutted he left. Yeah, I've seen a few of those. And Rangers fans hate him. They do. That's why the title of transfer guru is 50-50 for me. Depends who you ask. Even though He got them to a European final and they won the league. All I want is alignment at this point and no more issues up top. And I think we all do as well. Agree with those sentiments. Liam says, great record in transfer in and out of Southampton. At Southampton is phenomenal. It's a very good record at Southampton. Really good record at Southampton. Wasn't he the one that found? He's the one that found Van Dijk. I remember saying it on my show. He's the one that actually found Van Dijk. We are getting back to the right structure, says Liam. Square pegs, but really need to cut the Geordie cord. But we really need to cut the Geordie cord on Amiobi. Maybe I'm nostalgic. I like to keep the connections, but competency is number one, right? I don't care if they're from Timbuktu. If they're able to bring our loan department, our infrastructure, our recruitment, especially our youth into to scratch, I don't care if they're from Timbuktu. I'll be honest, because I just saw the news about Cordero, and you mentioned him, aren't you, Liam? Saying another fumbled loan, Cordero not getting home, getting game. I just saw that exactly. It's insane to me. How many the other young fella got it? Pibash got it as well. It's the fella from Australia, was it Australia, New Zealand got it as well. It's so frustrating. I feel like we need to buy our own clubs, like Strasbourg at this point. Music, hello, God bless you, Music. I don't know if you're first time to the channel, but welcome. If you're not, my apologies, but God bless you and welcome to the show. Adrian says, okay, greeting with and Smokey LFC, good to see you. God bless you, Smokey, good to see you. Right, so the scene has been set. They've said, look, Newcastle got all the ducks in a row. Mr. Wilson's coming in. We are looking to avoid the past chance for sagas and ups and downs. And we're gearing up for January, which is interesting. But it makes sense because we've got plenty of money in the bank, plenty of PSR room, which is absolutely phenomenal for us. There has also been a sense behind the scenes and it goes on to say, there has also been a sense behind the scenes. So this is what the leak is. Behind the scenes that some longer term decisions are waiting until the appointment of Mitchell's successor. What is that now? Do tell, which is why expediting the move for sporting director has been viewed as crucial. Now he's laying it up. The crescendo is coming. There's deals. There's longer term decisions. There's contracts being. He hasn't said quite contracts, but there's things. Obviously, that's the context of the article. They're all kind of lining up. And he says the appointment of CEO David Hopkinson has reinvigorated Newcastle after a summer spent fighting fires. But it is likely to be the new sporting director who drives many of the big football decisions at the club while he concentrates, among other things, on the task of driving revenue. And speaking of revenue, that's other information news I forgot to talk about was to big up what the gentleman's name, guys. You guys have to remind me. The guy that brings in all our sponsorship deals. He brought in Visa now. I can't believe I forgot his name. I know it's like after a famous rally track. Not Stone. You guys have to remind me, guys, but fantastic deal. I should have bigged them up, actually. I forgot to bring the article up. If you guys remind me of the name, I might be able to talk about it quickly as well. I need to big him up for that because he doesn't get enough praise. So, driving. It's interesting. It talks about the task of driving revenue. I thought he was going to say, among other things, the task of transfer and recruitment. Instead of that, it says driving revenue, which is interesting. Which could mean actually maybe the sale of players as well, which we've done quite well on. Anyway, he goes on to say, for instance, the Magpies are holding off on opening contract talks with star midfielder Sandro Tonali until a new sporting director is in place. Now, do you guys believe that, first of all, before I finish the rest of this paragraph? The first sentence is, for instance, the Magpies are holding off on opening contract talks with star midfielder Sandro Tonali until a new sporting director is in place. You know why I don't believe this? For the fact that he's a star midfielder and that, every other rival club can see that. Silverstone, thank you, Adrian. Silverstone, big up Silverstone, getting Visa over the line. I don't think Newcastle, in my opinion, when it comes to Sandro Tonali, when there's potential rival clubs in the midst, his contract, is in the air, you know, he might be ready to sign. They're saying, Tonali might be ready to sign. And they're saying, no, 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 no. Just wait. We got to wait for Mr. Wilson. No way. This is where I'm ready, kind of put it this way. It actually gives me confidence, a little bit more confidence that Mr. Tonali will likely or may have already signed a new contract with Newcastle United, right? Because I hope, honestly, I hope we're not foolish enough to really do this, where a player of the caliber of Sandro Tonali is actually ready and willing to sign a contract. They're saying holding off. Why would you hold off contract talks for Wilson? If you can get them started, right? So this is where I think this is where I'm more thinking they are just um, they're just laying out the groundworks for him, in my opinion, for Mr. Wilson to come as soon as he comes in. Oh, look, he looked down Sandro Tonali's contract, where I think maybe in the background, I'm hopeful of this. This is me. This is my opinion. I'm hopeful that that deal's pretty much signed already. That's my thinking behind it anyway. Thanks, Liam. Yep, Silverstone, brilliant. Thank you for that, guys. And Adrian thinks of the same thing. Aaron says the most important thing he can do is tie down Sandro Tonali and Botman to new deals. We need to tie down our key players and build the money from Liverpool. 100%. 100%. Liam says, yeah, and actually got that link here as well. News out of Brazil, we are offering Bruno a higher, probably tied to be the highest wage of Tonali having his sign. That is the other thing I'm going to bring up as well. That is, hopefully, I hope it's true. Where are you? Here we go. So, for instance, the Magpies are holding off on an opening contract talks with Starman for the Sandro Tonali until the new sporting director is in place. I don't believe that they're holding off, but in my opinion, they're already started. However, paper understands. This is what the league is saying. The paper understands that Italy International, along with Tino Livramento, the subject of many overtures from Man City, along with Tino Livramento and Sven Botman, we're going to talk about Sven Botman a little bit more, is in line for a new deal if terms can be thrashed out. That is really interesting that they've mentioned all three of these players. And I think we're going to talk about Bruno in a moment as well. My hope is that they're mentioning these guys by name is because they're fairly confident that these deals can indeed be signed. That is my hope, honestly. Otherwise, we're just raising a radar, or not a radar, a beacon to all rival clubs that, hey, we haven't signed these guys yet. Do you want? If you want, you can make it more complicated for us if you also make offers. He goes on to say Tonali's contract does not expire until 2028, and we're going to talk about contracts and which ones are set to expire. But Newcastle intend to reward their star for their part in helping the club's progression. Now, so he's already, for me, what's the word, gone back on what he said earlier about they've held off contract talks. By then saying in the next paragraph, they intend to reward their staff for their help for helping clubs progression. So you can, I'm already, so he's already let the cat out of the bag he's already kind of contradicted himself, in my opinion. He was recently held as the best midfielder in the Premier League by Paul Scholes. Yeah, and recent performances have cemented his position as one of the club's most important players. What do you think of Mr. Paul because of what he said? I'm happy he said that. Obviously, our rivals are like, oh no, I can't believe he didn't say Casado or Declan Rice. And in fact, in that clip, when Paul Scholes said it, I forgot the gentleman's name, but he was like, said to him, nah, but Declan Rice, there's nothing Declan Rice can't do. And Paul Scholes was like, I think it's Tonali. What I kind of found funny about that is, I'm not saying you can't question footballers, obviously you can, but there was no pause that I would have at least paused for thought, thinking to myself, Paul Scholes, he knows a little bit about football, don't he? Like, he was a really good midfielder. Like, as you know, he won some trophies and stuff like that. I guess my question would be, I wonder why Paul Scholes thinks that, right? But it's interesting that he just went and started talking about Declan Rice. So the young man did anyway. There is a feeling that Livramento, who is currently recovering from a knee injury, deserves new terms in line with his elevated status. There is a feeling. I think they're already talking to him. The England international, who is looking to secure a spot in Thomas Tuchel's World Cup squad, was courted by Man City last summer. That's a very interesting revelation there. Not a revelation, we already knew that, but they've acknowledged the rumor, which is interesting. Alignment on key decisions will be important at Newcastle. Alignment, I think Aaron Kane, you was saying I need alignment. There's that word. Alignment on key decisions will be important at Newcastle. If it is to be Wilson, he is viewed as a different character and perhaps an easier fit for the role than Mitchell. Hold on, let me go back. Let me understand that, guys. You guys help me with this. Hold on. What does that mean? What does that mean? Alignment on key decisions will be important at Newcastle. Yes. If it is to be Wilson, it is to be Wilson. We know it's going to be Wilson. So it's going to be Wilson. If it is to be Wilson, he is viewed as a different character. Wilson, okay, and perhaps an easier fit for the role than Mitchell. That's so interesting. Why? Do tell us. Why do you think this? He also knows how. This is why. He who is by far the most important figure at Newcastle United. So for me, guys, you let me know what you think. When I go to the comments in a moment, when they say all of this, right? Alignment on key decisions. We're getting what we want. Everybody's in one alignment, right? I'm not saying lock stock, but they're in alignment in terms of the overall strategy for Newcastle United. Wilson is viewed as a different character, and that's, for me, it's a subtle way of saying Mr. Mitchell didn't fit in, right? And why it's important is because Wilson knows how. So no matter, for me personally, if I'm reading between the lines, let me know what you guys think. One of the big reasons why Wilson is coming in is because there's a subtle nod of approval from Howe, in my opinion, because they do not want to go through a firestorm in a transfer window for like the second or third season running again. This was important, in my opinion. No matter how much Howe says, I wasn't involved, and the owners say, nah, we didn't ask him, Howe was involved. Subtly or not so subtly. And there's an admission, who is by far the most important football figure at Newcastle United. And I don't even think that's an overstatement, in my opinion. I think that's the truth, quite honestly. Liam Knowles says Hall's new contract is huge. The kid is on low wages. I agree. I absolutely agree. We need to get him on. Smokey says, guys, oh yes, please. Thank you for reminding Smokey. Guys, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. Thank you, Smokey. Look, we're like, what, 50 plus subscribers away from 1,000. I think that would mean that the channel could be, what do you call it? Like, it could be monetized. That's it. So that means I have to play less highlighted videos I'm not supposed to play. But we want to become monetized. It'll be a huge stepping stone. So guys, please do like, share, subscribe, and always you guys do. Like I said, our conversion rate is Harden levels, right? So let's keep it going. Yes, I agree with you, Smokey. Thank God the Premier League is back. Liam says alignment with Wilson, Howe, and others. Yes, absolutely. That's the key. That is the key. Eddie Howe, Aaron says, I think already has worked with Wilson before, so it's ideal. Howe is willing to work with him. It's important. I think it's so important. I think the owners are now seeing it, that there's no point. Like, it's been now two sporting directors who for different reasons, no matter how people feel about it, right? You get people saying how pushed them out. I don't think how did any of those things, honestly. They just didn't get on. Yeah, like I've said it so many times on the show before. Dan Ashworth was, I don't care what Howe did to him. Allegedly, I don't think Howe did anything to him. Whatever people accuse Howe of doing, which I don't believe in, Dan Ashworth was already talking with Man United whilst in a role with us, whilst looking for new players with us, whilst having access to our scouting system and everything else, talking to Man United. I don't care. I don't care what they say, how it did to him or not. Like, he betrayed the club. Paul Mitchell left the club out of his own volition at our most important transfer window since the takeover. I don't care. I won't lie to you guys. I don't care, but I can't. I'm trying to be diplomatic. I'm fading in it, but I don't. Whatever Hal did or did not do to him, like you just made yourself look worse, in my opinion. So both of them flopped. So I think if in PIF by now I got the message that, you know what, maybe I should just listen to Hal a little bit more and just get the guy get a spoiler that's going to get on with him. That's going to like working with him. Liam says Wilson's first quotes were a PR home run. Said everything Mitchell didn't. Good work done. Transfers great. I'm hit. And but you know what, Liam? I don't know if you saw a previous show when we did the profile on him, and this is very good. I agree with you totally. Very good PR home run. I'll give him a little bit more credit in my opinion, because we did a profile of him a little while ago, and he was being interviewed by this other young man, and like, it's a small channel, and so not many people have seen it. I know not many people have seen it because the views aren't like in the thousands from what I remember. And one of the questions they asked him, what was your biggest lessons? What have you learned? What's the biggest lessons you've learned so far? This is when when Mr. Wilson just joined Forest. And he said that basically talked about learning to put, how he's learned to essentially take the hit, even if it's not his fault, take the hit for the club. He didn't say it like that, but what he worded is, what he said was putting others first, making sure no matter what happens, put the club first, and work things out, even if there's decisions that aren't his way or what he would agree with. Go with. I'm not saying he's a yes man, not at all, but I guess what he was saying is essentially the crux of it was putting others first and making things work. Now, he was there when he was at Forest, like when I think he just joined Forest, in the midst of that. So I feel like this is him. This is how he is, and he's gone through a learning curve, especially after Rangers, Southampton, and everything else. So I think this is why he'll be a fit. Liam also says Howe is always complimentary about Ashworth. He set us on the right path. Exactly. He just wanted to go to Man United, and so that was it. So he goes on to say the manager has bristled at the idea. The manager has bristled at the idea that he doesn't want to work parallel to a sporting director, telling reporters last month he is desperate for someone to fill the role and lighten the burden on him. That is true. We need the position filled, says this is from Howe, but ideally with the right man, the man who can lead the club forward in many different ways to a very successful era, he said. And if you think about it, if you're Wilson, yeah, Newcastle United just had a very successful transfer window. Especially from a financial, for now, we'll say from a financial perspective. Obviously, we're still going to find out about the players. Some are working out very well at the moment, but from a financial perspective, at least, tons of money in the bank, tons of PIF space, PIF space, PSR space, right? In the Champions League, with the opportunity to qualify again, if the right moves are being made, with the right manager and the right management team, Silverstone's making deals, sponsorships are getting over the line. He's the training ground hopefully going to be built soon. All this other stuff. So he's come in an ideal situation, and I wonder if Mr. Wilson's also come at the right time for his own career. Having all the experience that he's had, at Rangers, the downs and ups from Rangers, achieving at Southampton, achieving at Forest, and now coming to Newcastle United. So it might be a situation where both for the club and for the sporting director, Mr. Wilson, they're both meeting each other at the right time. Hal goes on to say, I'm fully supportive of the position. The indications are that he could soon get his wish, and that is how. So they didn't actually talk about they talked a little bit about the contract renewals here. And I'll add on to this as well, because we're actually going to be talking about contract, but I'm supposed to talk about contract renewals. Because the article actually started off, it gave the context of, hey, 3 new signings, but it actually really focused in on Mr. Wilson coming in, which was interesting. But I want to add to that, I think Liam talked about this as well, that also, really, there's 4 players that have been mentioned. And this includes Bruno Gomes. And it has been according to reports, this is from Hard Talk. Is it Hard Talk newspaper? Hard Talk, I think, is newspaper. Where is it? I can't see the art. I can't see not the article, the author of the article, so I can big him up or her. Newcastle United will attempt to secure the long-term future of Bruno Gomes after offering him a new 5-year contract, 5 years, which comes with a 50% pay rise. I think it's going from 10 to 15 million euros, from what they're saying. According to a report by Brazilian outlet UOL, Bruno Gomes is the subject of interest of Saudi Pro League. It was Ali Etihad, wasn't it? Clubs, the big spending outfit, view the Newcastle midfielder as mainstay as their next marquee arrival of 2026. Interested? So we've got a build up there as well, a little build up there as well. Let's say this is why I'm offering him the new contract. We have to give him the new contract, otherwise Saudi Pro League are going to take him. Even though we own the Saudi Pro League, but fine, whatever. We all know about that. You all know about that. It's a little bit like it's a bit like Chelsea saying, "Yeah, we've got to offer Tyreek George a new contract, otherwise Strasbourg are going to take him." Like, really? But anyway, however, the Magpies are unwilling to part ways with the Brazilian international anytime soon. The 24-25 EFL Cup winners, have offered the Rio de Janeiro native a new 5-year contract, which comes with a significant pay rise. The deal will take Gomes' annual salary from 10 million euros to 50 million euros, with the former Lyon midfielder enjoying himself at Newcastle United. An extended stay with Newcastle with Tyneside outfit may be on the cards, despite the links to Saudi clubs. Do they say anything more? Widespread reports have also linked the South American midfielder of Manchester City. True. Pep Guardiola, an admirer of his talent. However, Gomes is happy at Newcastle United with a Tyneside outfit eager to keep hold of him for the long haul. They have now submitted. Okay, wow. This goes a step further in terms of what Mark Douglas said about the other contracts. They have now submitted a new 5-year contract to the player. So it's been offered. The deal will take Gomes' annual salary from 10 to 50 million. So the other Saudi pro leagues can look elsewhere. So, guys, essentially, we have 4 players who have been offered. Oh, my camera's gone off. You guys didn't tell me my camera's gone off. We have 4 players who have been linked with and have been reported to being offered new contracts at Newcastle United. And the news on Bruno is even a step further than all the others, which is to say that Newcastle already submitted a new offer for him. And I actually believe that we've already, in my opinion, excuse me, I think we've already offered Tonali a new contract and Tino a new contract and Sven Botman a new contract, in my view. And I don't think they're far from being signed, hopefully. And I think Wilson is just there for the photoshops, for the not photoshops, for the photo opportunities, if that makes sense. So you can. I'm pretty confident if you can. Why shouldn't we be? I think we should be confident in that as well. Oh, sorry guys, you did tell me the camera's dropping off. sorry, sorry, you did tell me. Sorry, Liam. Sorry, Aaron. You did tell me. Matt Lou, big up to you. Good to see. He spoke about putting the club first before everything else, and also understanding and respecting people around him. Yes, Matt Lou, you must have. It's from the show, isn't it? That's Wilson. Wilson did say that. That's exactly it. He spoke about putting the club first before everything else, and also understanding and respecting people around him. That was it. That was absolutely it. And thank you, Liam. Thank you, Liam. Thank you, Aaron. Oh, thank you, Matt Lou, as well. Thank you, all of you guys, for letting me know about the camera as well, and Adrian as well. The camera's to be playing. One day, at least the audio is still going. At least the audio is still going. Right, so that's four players that they've talked about being offered new contracts. And like I've said, in my opinion, they have already been submitted. That's the word that they're putting, right? So I went to go to transfermarket.com. I haven't been there for a while, actually. Was on there all the time, actually, when we especially during the transfer window and getting up to there. But I wanted the transfer window to see where we were at, actually, in terms of our contracts and everything else. Now the annoying thing is when I do, just to let you know, when I do the contract expires, it don't show me, like I have to like go in the middle of the screen to do it. But let's look at this. And what is interesting, by the way, what is the other just out in terms of agencies? It used to be CA Stella, but CA Stella, this is all these are all the players, these are all the agencies that are involved with our players currently. And the current agency that we've got the most players with is Wasserman, with 7 players there, which is interesting, right? And next one is Unique Sports Group, 5, and then it's CA Stella. So you can see who are doing a lot of deals with at this moment in time. So let's keep that in mind while we're talking about new contracts, because I think Liam, you mentioned Lewis Hall should be given a new contract. He's a Wasserman, so let's see where he's at in terms of his current contract. I'm going to go back to the other guys in a moment, but since we mentioned Lewis Hall as well, when does his contract run out? Oh, doesn't it tell me? Oh, it must have been undisclosed. If anybody knows when Hall's contract runs out, do let me know. We'll include him. It doesn't say here just yet. But let's just hone in on Livramento, Bruno, Botman, and Tonali. And what's significant about these guys, if you see Tonali at the bottom here, as they said, he expires in 2028. At the turn of this year, 2026, he'll have 2 years left, right? We all know. And maybe this is why it explains why Mark Douglas talks about January 2026 transfer window. I'm going to hedge my bets. If I was a betting man, I think we're going to see a lot of contract renewal announcements, hopefully in January. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. Because Mr. Tonali runs out in 2028. Bruno Gomes runs out in 2028. Tino Livramento runs out in 2028. So that 2 year, and Mr. Botman, actually, Mr. Botman, I remember seeing this earlier. Where is Botman? Mr. Botman is a lot more sooner than that, from what I remember. Where are you, Botman? Can anybody see Botman? Botman. Berners there, Charles there. Here we are, Botman. Botman runs out in 2027. So by this January, he'll have a year left on his contract. That's very, very urgent, right? Well, all of them are urgent, right? All of them are stars in their own right. So those are the big, big deals. Four big deals at least that we've got to get over the line. 2028 contracts, and one of them being 27 in Botman. And if anybody knows when Halls runs out, that'll be really, really helpful, right? So that's why I kind of tout, part of my title was, Newcastle, essentially trying to consolidate power on and off the field. Obviously, the infrastructure, everything else, but also for our players. Because if we get new contract renewals, not only does that probably symbolize a whole new level and stage in our own wage structure, because those wages aren't going to be small, right? But also there's going to be some solidity. There's going to be some, how do I say it? Hopefully some confidence that these players are going to stay a little bit longer, right? That we've got something to build from. Essentially, is what I'm saying. And who do these guys belong to? Sandra belongs to GR Sports, Bruno to Bertolucci Sports, Botman is with none of them belong to Wasserman, which is crazy. Apart from Tino does, and so does Lewis Hall. So it'll be interesting to see how those deals are going to get over the line. How do you guys feel about those deals so far? Do you guys, how far along do you think we are? And how confident are you guys that we're going to get these deals over the line? That's what I'll be curious to know. And who else would you like to see added to the list? Because there's already one name that's interesting that I'm going to talk about in a moment. But I just think it'd be phenomenal if we get these four guys over the line. Adrian says, very happy for Bruno to effectively play out his career with us. Yes, 100%. And he's already a legend to me. I don't know he's to many of you guys already. He was there, part of the first five that came in as part of the takeover, saved us from relegation, got us into the Champions League twice now, two finals plus a League Cup trophy, became captain, was there in that year, 2 years ago, when we had hardly any players in the field. He always played, always gives his best. He's phenomenal. Honestly, he's phenomenal. I can't speak highly enough of him. He's very much a symbol of our new era, apart from being a stalwart performer. Exactly. I absolutely agree with that. 1000% I agree with that. Liam says a lot of decisions coming with players out of contract. We need to leave sentimentality at the door. Let me know who you're referring to, Liam, in terms of sentimentality. Because let me know, and because I want to get your thoughts on a few things. Well, everybody else's as well. Liam says, heard he's on around 5K. Give him the money. Who? Lewis Hall's on 5K. Come on, you're joking. I don't think Lewis Hall's on 5K. He can't be on 5K. He can't be. He can't be on 5K. Somebody tell me. Somebody tell me what's going on. Somebody tell me. Somebody tell me. I forgot the wages. Is it Capology? Let me go on Capology. Is it Capology? Let me see if I can find Capology. Let's confirm that. I'm not saying you're lying or anything, Leo. I'm just I don't want to believe it. So let me share this with you guys. Reject all. Don't want the cookies. Save and exit. All right. So where are you guys? Are you guys watching this? Yeah, you are. Capology. Let's find Mr. Lewis Hall. Let's see if Capology can shed any light on this. Gosh, how many adverts are there? So let's zoom in on this. Gosh, look at these adverts. Gross pay base, he's on a base of 2 million a year, 500,000 in bonus. It's saying 45,000 base with 11,000 in bonus. It's around 50K. Around 50K in that's in British pounds. No way. Hold on. Hold on. It says his contract runs out in 2026. Lewis Hall's contract runs out in 20. This is Lewis Hall. Newcastle United, Lewis Hall. His contract runs out in 2026. No. Lewis Hall's contract runs out in 2026. Are you kidding me? Why are we not talking about Lewis Hall then? No. He signed 22, 20, 23, 24 season. He was on 7K. He was on 7K with us and with Chelsea. Then we increased to 35K, which is reasonable, in the following season. Did we only give him a 4-year contract or something? No. When does Lewis Hall contract expire? 2026. You're right, Liam. It might not be on 5K, but the worst news for me is that it's in 2026. Are you kidding me? Okay, so Mr. Hall, according to Capology, his contract runs out next summer, or summer coming up. Excuse me. Wow, Mr. Wilson, you need to get on that, my friend. You need to get on that. What do you guys think about that? Let me see. What do you guys think about that? Goodness me. That's going to keep me up tonight. Goodness me. Heard Hall is around 25K. Give him the money. Give him the money, honestly. I don't know how much it is, but we need to give it to him. Matt Lou says, one contract that worries me is Malik's 4-year contract is getting better and better with every game, so big clubs will be sniffing around after next season. Yeah, one thing that worries me is Hall. Forget Malik right now. Mr. Hall's contract is the one that worries me. That's got me sweating. Oh my word. We'll do with Malik when it comes to it. It's Hall that is the worry for me. January, Liam says January loan rumors on Endrick keep coming. World Cup year, needs game time, whistle to AFCON. It works for me. I need to do some research on Endrick. I haven't focused on him as much. What do you think of him, Liam? How much do you know about him, and do you rate him? Do you think he'll fit into our system? Looks like you do think. It looks like from what you're saying that you definitely have him. Aaron says, I really don't think we need another striker. I trust the Solar to come good. He's had moments. Our priority needs to be another midfielder and the left back. I'd even say another left winger if we sell Barnes. You got your transfer list ready there, Aaron. Go Farmer, good to see you. God bless you. And guys, do remember to like, share, and subscribe. As always, it's good to see these 15 people viewing the show. Please do hit the like button and subscribe if you're enjoying. Adrian says, what would guarantee Endrick more minutes than Asula is currently getting? Can we play wide? Get Hall. Yeah, Aaron says get Hall tied down now. Absolutely. How did we let him get to one season? Are we? He was loaned for 2024, signed 2024, 2 years. We gave him 2-year contract. Wow. Okay. I hope so. I have your confidence, Goat Father. I hope we get it. Yeah, maybe I am worrying too much. I just didn't expect it. I just didn't expect it. Liam says Osola will go in January for a loan or sell. Do you think Liam will still let him go? Yeah, do you think we'll still let him go? Because even if we brought in Endrick hasn't played in the Premier League before, and I don't know. Let me know. Like, I need to, because I haven't done too much study on Endrick, so I need to know what he's about, to be honest, before I make any conclusions. BTS's Hall permanent transfer was officially completed on July 1st, 2024. Hall signed a contract with Newcastle United until June 2026. Yeah. What has Paul Mitchell been doing? Nothing. Like, by the looks of it. Jeez Louise. So that's the other player that we need to think about. But obviously, we've got four players that we need to sign. Hopefully, I'm confident that with Bruno, Tonali, and Tino and Botman, I feel like there's deals there for them. We'll see how it goes. The other interesting one is I wonder where Barnes is, but I was actually going to look at somebody else. Can you guys guess who I'm going to look at? Where's Barnes? What's Barnes on? Because someone I didn't think of Barnes until Aaron mentioned him. Barnes, Barnes. Harvey Barnes. He's on his 2028 as well, but he's not being mentioned. Murphy's 2027. Jeez, mate. we've got some talking to do with players. Wilson's got some work to do. 2027. Joe Willock 2027, but God bless Joe Willock. We're not I don't know. I don't think it's as high as a priority. We know that Kraft is on the rolling contract every year. Kieran Trippier as well. So we won't worry too much about that. I don't know if you guys noticed that I don't know if we've been linked to Ben White yet, but I think that would be a good upgrade for Kieran Trippier. Jamal Lascelles rolling contract, Shaw rolling contract, Nick Pope rolling contract, Gillespie rolling contract, Ramsdale is on the loan. So Botman and Hall are very urgent. But the other player I was looking at was where is he? Joelinton. Now Joelinton, I remember, was given a 4-year contract as well, and his one expires in 2028. How old is Joelinton now? 29 years old. Jeez, time flies. I still remember when he joined us with his hair. With his big hair and everything. He's 29 years old, folks. 2028 is when it runs out. I wonder, Liam, or anybody else, would it be sentimentality if we go back to his contract and increase it again? Do we look at the club who did it for Burn and everybody else? He is part of the pillars, and I do believe in some level of continuity, even if he doesn't play regularly going forward in times to come. If a young midfielder comes along, you can rotate. I think the ideal situation is like what we've got on our right side with Tino Livramento and Trippier, and having that kind of a situation. Old veteran, young player, given rotating, and that helps the young player to kind of grow and develop at a slightly steadier pace rather than having to kind of come good straight away if Trippier wasn't there. Someone like Tino Livramento and others might have struggled. So I do think that Joelinton should be looked at for a new contract, not necessarily a 50% pay rise like Bruno Gomes, but I think we should look into it. I did not realize that he was 29 years old. I knew he was older. I didn't know that he was that much older. It's only by 2 years, to be fair. Excuse me, guys. Sorry, coughing to the mic, but Wilson's got a lot of work to do. We have a lot of work to do for our contracts. I've kind of underestimated this. Let me know what you guys are thinking, and then we'll move on to internationals. McGilly Face, welcome to the show. God bless you. Let's see what the new sporting director does. He's just started. He has. He has, and he's got a lot of work to do. But I'm looking forward to seeing it. Liam says Shaw, Lascelles, Trips will all leave. Maybe a year for Shaw. And I know that Shaw's got like a sporting director role or some sort of like kind of sporting director type of role waiting for him in Switzerland. They've been waiting for him for ages, to be honest. Um, I think I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to hold on to Shaw and Lascelles. I think Trippier will go because it's been, you know, I think how, like I was saying earlier, like he likes to have like a foundation, a strong foundation, and those guys are part of that as well. So at the same time, there might be a new foundation in terms of maybe Joelinton, Byrne, and others. So maybe it's right. Maybe it's right for that to happen. We'll see. We'll see. But good call there, Liam. Liam says Big Joe's 30 soon. Yeah, he is. He is. Oh gosh, crazy how time flies. McGilly faces Willock will leave. Yeah, I don't see us giving him a new contract. Matthew says Mitchell got paid to sit and do nothing for a year. He was on vacation at Newcastle. Honestly, goodness gracious, I didn't know that our contract situations were like this. This is mad. Aaron says I'd keep Joelinton as a squad player. To be honest, so would I. He's a very unique profile, very hard to replace that. Yeah, absolutely, I agree. William says wages have to come down as age goes up, though. Yes, I agree. And yeah, I can't argue with that, Liam. What's also important is the revenue to continue to go up, sponsorship deals. But you're right, you can't burn that. You should not burn the candle at both ends, should you? So that might be a factor. But I think their wages aren't that significant. I think Lascelles is on 50K. I think I think it's the likes of Joe Willock who aren't old but aren't performing. I think that's the situation there. Trippier's on about 100K or so, but the others guys, I think once, for instance, Target's on 100K. I didn't realize that he's on 100K. Once that year comes up, that's going to be huge as well. So I think those are the ones that are going to be big in terms of leaving. As he slows, he'll get found out. I think you're talking about Joelinton there, aren't you? McGilly said we have too many goalkeepers, especially Gillespie. I wonder if that's part of the quota. Gillespie's ahead for karaoke, says Liam Knowles. And entertainment can't be underestimated, honestly. Yeah, I agree. I wouldn't be surprised if he does what? I forgot the name, but is it Carsley? Not Carsley. The one for Man City, that goalkeeper there. If Gillespie has that. BT says the club's financial situation and adherence to regulations like FFP play a crucial role in determining the club's ability to offer new contracts. And he goes on to say a player on field performance and their long-term value to the club are primary considerations. Absolutely, but I also think meeting quotas, kind of the dressing room. A lot of these guys add the stability to our dressing room as well. And it's what enables us to bring in young players like Voltamada, and everybody was saying Voltamada and Malik Chow, they've hit the ground running. Part of it is their ability, but the other part of it is because our dressing room and our club culture is just so solid and so consistent, in my view. That's kept it going. So that's allowed them to grow, essentially, in my view. So yeah, yeah, absolutely. But we've got some work, to be honest. We have got some work to do for the contract situations. Hopefully, January, maybe before January, we'll see a lot of renewals. But moving on and moving forward, I want to briefly discuss the internationals to see where our team is at with players coming back and from internationals. Hopefully, everybody's fit. We'll have a brief look over their performances and everybody else and how they're done to see. I'm going to try and guess where they're at physically, psychologically. Are they confident? Did they have good spells? Did they play? Did they get any minutes? Let's find out. But first of all, who is it that went? And when I looked at the list, it was far less than what I thought went actually on international duty. So we had, and this is from the mag, big up to the mag. So we had Anthony Gordon and Dan Burn playing for England, and they played today as well. Yeah, Gordon got a goal. I thought he had a good game. Had a really good game actually. Good to see him get on the score sheet. Dan Burn had a bit of a cameo appearance towards the end of 5-10 minutes as well. Looked good though. Bruno and Joelinton for Brazil. We'll look at see how many minutes they got. I keep on seeing clips of Bruno absolutely doing some like Iniesta, Xavi type through balls playing for Brazil. I'm like, I hope he brings it to Newcastle. Voltemada, I did see him get a goal against Northern Ireland as well. He's been playing games as well, so we'll see the minutes that he gets. He's played as well. Anthony Elanga for Sweden. He's had a bit of a controversial time, so I'm going to talk about him in a moment. Lewis Smiley, I need to look at Lewis. I think he's had an injury or something like that, or rumours of an injury. We'll see. Sandro Tonali, we've got to talk about him for Italy. So we can't talk. We're going to skim through them. Not skim through them, but we're going to talk about them and see what shape they're in, how their internationals have went, and yeah. So to see, what we can expect, I feel like that's like a sort of pre-prep for the preview for the Brighton game. We're going to see what kind of, what shape our boys are coming back in. Let's start off with Anthony Gordon and Dan Burn. So let's get them here. Anthony Gordon. Let's see, Anthony Gordon. And you know what? When I remember when I did the minutes of you guys, the squad rotation, the minutes like a couple sessions ago, and I remember that I actually didn't show their minutes, including internationals, because someone for the likes of like I kept saying we played 10 games, 10 games. But at that point, the likes of Bruno, Gomes, and Sandro Tonali have actually played 12 games already this season. So it's important to kind of factor that in. Both of them are important to their individual countries, as is Mr. Anthony Gordon, who is also growing in importance. So let me see. Did he play? I'll admit I didn't play. I didn't watch a lot of the internationals. I think today was the ones I watched the most. He did play against Wales. How many minutes did he get against Wales? He got 90 minutes against Wales. Anthony Gordon got 90 minutes against Wales because he played like nearly 90 minutes a day as well. Jeez Louise. Got one key pass. Made 3 crosses attempts. None of them seemed to hit the mark, but otherwise accurate passes, 88%. Passes in opposition half, 77%. Decent passes in his own half, not too many. Dribbles against Wales, 4 unsuccessful dribbles. 4 unsuccessful touches. Otherwise, he had 51 touches, which is decent for him. Dribbles successful, 2 out of 3. Good. So he had a pretty good, decent showing. They've given him a 7.6. Defensively, not bad. 1 out of 1. Challenges 1. 2 recoveries coming from Newcastle. You know you're going to get that. And 4 out of 7 ground duels won. So he looks like he had a solid game against what do you call it? Against Wales. My apologies. And then, like I said, today played against Latvia. I thought he had a decent. In fact, he had a. Whilst we're on. I was going to go to Dan Burn, but I'm going to get it mixed up. Today, England qualified for the World Cup. Where are you? In fact, let me just bring them both up. But let me just go to Latvia. What did they give him today? They're giving him an 8.3. He scored today, Mr. Gordon, as well. Let me see his heat map. Make sure you guys can see this. Oh, no, you can't see it all this time. You guys didn't even say anything. Here we go. So, yeah, very much in their half, by the way. This is from right going left, as you guys will see. He spent a lot of time in Latvia's half. Again, he played what? Okay, he played 71 minutes this time, 20 minutes less. That's nice of Tuchel. He had 4 shots. He scored a goal. That will do his confidence. That will do his confidence no harm at all. Passes. 8 attempted, 1 successful. That's because Latvia had a lot of players in the box. 89% accurate passes, 74% accurate passing opposition half. Decent again. Dribbles, 56 touches. Only 2 unsuccessful touches, good for him. 1 dribble attempt, 1 successful, good for him again. Overall, he didn't have to do much defending because Latvia weren't great. But he's had a good international break, Mr. Gordon. And played less minutes today. Let's see how Mr. Byrne did. I think it's good to see Gordon, I want to see him score goals for Newcastle, but he has scored goals for Newcastle. He's scored in the Champions League. He hasn't scored in the Premier League just yet. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, on paper, especially in the Premier League, he's on the goal drought, but he is getting goals. He's not shying away. I think the goals will come in the Premier League at some point as well. I'm looking for Dan Burn. Here we go, Dan Burn. He didn't play against Wales. No minutes against Wales, and he didn't play much in international break. So he should be very, very fresh, Mr. Burn. He how many minutes did he play today? I'm going to say about 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes against Latvia. Where is he? Here we go. I came on the 71st minute, my fault. So he came in had about 20 minutes, just over 20 minutes played. Not too bad, not too much damage at all. Won his ground duels. Not too much to say from Mr. Byrne. So he was okay. He was okay. So Gordon played a lot. Dan Byrne a little bit less. But both of them are coming back fit, which is important. Liam says, you're right, BT, but Leo Shaha coming on youth wages. Okay, you guys are talking about the wages. Liam says, only friendlies, but Bruno's 2 slide balls, assists were beauties. Absolutely. Absolutely, Liam. I ain't seen that since Iniesta. Tonali ran the show first game. I'm going to look at Tonali in a moment. Biggest positive of the international break has been Sven and Malik having time to train together. Yeah, because that partnership is only going to grow. That partnership is only going to grow. So speaking of Sandro Tonali and running the show, as he does, how many games has he played? So let's see. Did he play against... Oh, so Israel, they're playing Israel they're playing Israel today. Let me go back first. Let's see what he did against Estonia. Estonia. Look at the attacking momentum, guys. Can you guys see the attacking momentum? Can you guys see that? Jeez, I've never seen that before. Wow. Like you said, Liam, he's run the show, got the highest ratings, heat map, all over that pitch. How can I get there? Here we go. 90 minutes though against Estonia. I shouldn't complain. Come on, 90 minutes against Estonia. 5 key passes. Are you kidding me? 5 key passes. 87% accurate passes. 81% accuracy in opposition half. 96% in his own half. Long balls. 63% accuracy. Jeez, 110 touches, only 4 unsuccessful. 1 interception, didn't have to make ground duels 5 out of 5. Jeez. He was phenomenal. All that was missing was a goal for him, wasn't it? He was absolutely phenomenal, Mr. Tonali. Let's see how he did against Israel. Italy won that one 3-0. Did he play? He did play. He did play. Again, all over the pitch as always, as you expect. Hold on, where are you? Make sure you guys can see this, because last time I was showing... What? Yeah, you can see it. All over the pitch. As always. How many minutes did he have? How many minutes did he have on the pitch? How many minutes? Why can't I see the minutes? Oh, 89. So literally he played nearly 2 full games during the international break. Jeez, man. I didn't mean to complain. He's certainly been playing. Eddie Howe will have to be mindful of that. 3 key passes, so he's staying sharp. 30 out of 40 accurate passes. I think it's because he's probably taking a lot more risk with the ball passing into position. So 74%, passing his own half, 75%. He had 3 shots, 1 shot on target, 2 blocked, 52 touches in this game. Got a dribble pass once. Otherwise, won 3 out of 6 of his duels. He had a good, decent outing. But Tonali is pretty intensive in terms of playing games. He's been playing. I wonder what that would mean for... Now, we know that he's got an engine, but I can see James Bunce having a word of how about how many minutes Mr. Tonali is playing. That's for sure. So Bruno Gomes, let's have a look at Bruno Gomes. Liam says Israel were 3 points behind before kickoff. No surprise Tonali stayed on. Okay, fair play. There was an urgency, I suppose, for Italy. And he was never going to let them down. He was never, ever going to let them down, to be honest. That's what I've seen people say on X, for instance, when they're talking about Wissa playing for Congo, and then saying, "Oh, we need to be more like I can't remember but like we need to be more like strong with international teams." And I'm like, you have to be tactile. Like people acting like the international teams are players. Some, there might be a news factor for some people, but there's players that are proud to play for their countries. So even if those countries wanted them, maybe said to them, "Oh, we've got to play a little bit less because the clubs are complaining." Some players will say, "I don't care. I want to see my country play. I want to play in the World Cup. I want to see my country play in the World Cup. Play me. I'm staying on the pitch." So I think people forget that part of it. But let's go to Bruno Gomes. Oh, so he's playing again tomorrow. So he's playing tomorrow against Japan. I thought we already played against Japan. Yeah, we have. Sorry. I'm not seeing anything at all. So everyone's pretty much played most of their games. So he played against South Korea first. We'll go to Japan in a moment. He played against South Korea. And where did he play? Yeah, on the pivot of Casemiro. How much did he play? He played 79 minutes. Bruno did. Bruno played 79 minutes. I was looking for his heat map. I can't get it for some reason, but fine. He's played 79 minutes. He got an assist, as Liam was saying. He got some good assists. 2 key passes. He's been on fire. 97% accuracy. Pass accuracy. Are you kidding me? Passing to the opposition half. 96%. Ooh. Passing his own half. 94%. long balls accuracy 100%. Are you kidding me? 100% long ball accuracy. 82 touches. Only 2 unsuccessful. Jeez, both our midfielders are on fire. 5 out of 9 ground duels won. He only got dribble past once. Matey. How is he not man of the match? So Bruno and Tonali, and Gordon have all had pretty good internationals. Tonali has played a lot, and I think Bruno, I don't know how many minutes Bruno. Did Bruno play? He did. He played with his boy, Paqueta, as well. This time a 3-man midfield against Japan. He got an assist in this game as well. Why is this thing not? Here we go. Night, McGilly. Good to see you. God bless you. Night to you, sir. Bruno got... This time he played 57 minutes. Thank you, Mr. Ancelotti. Thank you very, very much. Very grateful for that. That's how Japan won 3-2. I bet as soon as he got off, Japan won 3-2. Lucky so-and-sos. Joelinton came on as a substitute. That's interesting. Also, I have to remember, actually, Joelinton played as well. But he got 1 assist, 1 key pass, 85% accuracy this time. Passing opposition, 86%. Passing his own half, 84%. This time, 40% long ball accuracy, 61 touches, 3 out of 3 dribbles successful. 5 out of 6 ground duels won. Recoveries 2. He's had a good international break. Bruno, Tonali, they've all done pretty well. What did Joelinton do in this game? He played 33 minutes in this game. I've seen a few complaints from Brazil fans. I'm not fans of Joelinton, but they'll get used to him. Joelinton came on. Doesn't look like he did himself too badly. 95% accuracy. Accurate passes, passing opposition half, 91% from Joelinton. That's good. 100% in his own half, 43 touches. You got to see a few bits of the ball with 30 minutes remaining. What's their beef? 2 out of 4 ground duels won, 1 out of 2 aerial duels. He seems to have had a decent game, Joelinton. Did he play against? Let me see if Joelinton played against South Korea. Did Big Joe play against South Korea? And he didn't play against South. So he's only played 33 minutes in the international break, Joelinton. So he's in good. He shouldn't be too worn out. He should be in good shape. So far, what you guys thinking? We've got a few more players to look at, but it's looking pretty decent. Our boys have done well. Aaron says Sandro in that left 8 positions is a joy to watch. I want to see him and Bruno play higher up in the 8 positions. I don't disagree with that. Agree, Aaron. I'm a broken record. Find me a 6'4" Toyota-esque CDM, and I think we have one actually, but he plays in Belgium. We talked about him. I don't know if you remember, Liam. CDM and free that up and free the others up for certain games. Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. Or even Kamara from Monaco. I thought we'd have got Mateus Fernandez, but he's playing for West Ham. I thought it would be ideal for us. Aaron says Bruno is an outrageous player. Some of our fan base just see the passion, but he can really play. I don't disagree. Honestly, I think it's phenomenal. McVitie says, night guys are subscribed. Big up to you, McGilly. Thank you for the sub. Hope to catch you next time. God bless you. Take care. So we've got a few more to catch up on before we call it a night, actually. But we've got. I'll look at it. I'll look at Elanga and Voltemada before we wrap up. I don't think there's anybody else with too much significance. We have to keep tabs on Lewis Miley to see if he's okay. But let's start off with Elanga because I saw some report. Now you got to take things with where is it? I did see a report where they were saying that again, this is gossip and rumor, but that he is not too much of a fan of his international managers. I think Dal Thomason, former Newcastle player, that he's not a fan of his system. In fact, he said, blink blank the system. So let's see, did he play and how did he play? Because I haven't got a clue. Let me make sure you guys can see that. Yeah, you can. Big up to all the folks that are still on here. Please do like, share, and subscribe. As always, you guys are absolutely phenomenal with it. All right, so let's see. Let's start off with the Switzerland game where they lost 2-0. Raw, Sweden lost against Switzerland and against Kosovo. I actually know about the Kosovo game because of all the focus on Isak. So Elanga did not start against Switzerland. Did he play? He got no minutes. Elanga got no minutes against what do you call it? Against Switzerland. So he was on the bench. Now let's see, did he get any minutes against Kosovo? Because this might be the reason why he's not a fan of Mr. Dal Thomason. And he's saying that got to change the system. Maybe change the system so he can play is what he means. I don't know. Yeah, he didn't start against Kosovo. He came on for Bergvall in the second half on the 46th minute. It looks like maybe Bergvall might have been injured. I don't know. Or maybe it was part of the plan. They lost both games. Let's see. Wow, that's his heat map. Very much touchline. Very much touchline. Can you guys see that? You can. He's very much touchline. Is that on the left side? Did he play on the left? Interesting. If that is like on their left side. Okay, he played on their left, 45 minutes. So he should be fresh. He should be fresh. 45 minutes. He had 50 touches in that 45 minutes, though. Only 3 unsuccessful, 4 key passes. That's good, isn't it? 76% accurate passes, which you can expect playing in the final third. Passing opposition half, 72%. 100% in his own. He only made 1 backward pass, to be fair to him. Recoveries, 1 out of 2 duels. 7.3. No, I know that's super score ranking, but he didn't have a bad 45 minutes that he played. I got to read into his international situation a little bit more. Why is he not playing? Like, what's the situation? If anybody knows about what's happening with Elanga, but he seemed to have a decent 45 minutes, nothing to be ashamed of at all. Although he's only played 45 minutes. But let's see what kind of state of mind, because let me just see if I can find it before I move on to Nick Voltemada. Let me see if I can find that quote on the Elanga. I did see it. Did I bookmark it? Where did I see that quote? No, I didn't bookmark it. Let me see. Anthony Elanga. Not happy with Sweden manager. Let's see. It is coming from the Sun, to be honest. Okay, Northern Echo have also followed up on it, and Sports Bible, and Give Me Sport. So let me show you guys this. Let's see what I'll go and Give Me Sport. So it looks like everybody else is reporting on this. Let me make sure you guys can see that. Yeah, you can. Yeah, he's not had the greatest. So Anthony Elanga's brutal 6-word outburst and tunnel shortly before Sweden's sack manager. Have they sacked the manager? Oh, jeez. Okay. Oh, my day. Sorry. I just get this news live. It's like, okay, so yeah, if you lose, when you lose to Sweden, no, when you lose to Switzerland and Kosovo and you score no goals, I imagine that Sweden are Sweden out of the World Cup. That means it's been a very busy international break. Sweden qualify as their hopes for 2026 took a blow. Indeed, back-to-back defeats mean that the manager Joel he's been sacked. Looks like Elanga was right. The finals came. Xhaka scored. Lots of fluff. Lots of fluff. They fired him. This is their thing. This is their quote from the Sweden thing. This is a decision to take by the Swedish Football Association based on the fact that the men's national team has not been delivered results. That's true. There is still a chance of a playoff in March, and our responsibilities in March. Oh, come on, man. We need Elanga to ensure that we have the best possible conditions to reach a final. Okay, fine. What did he say? Or what did they allegedly say? 18 matches. He hasn't done well. What did he do? 18 matches. He lost 7. He did pick up 9 wins, but they were largely against teams they expected to beat. Isak and Newcastle have been not doing well. So summing up the mood in the Swedish camp, Anthony Elanga was heard making some rather damning comments on the tunnel directly after the defeat. Radio's sporting reporter Jonas Einarsson, so like a Swedish report by the sounds of it, allegedly heard the Newcastle United winger, now is Newcastle United. Jeez. What happened to Sweden? I thought he was playing for Sweden, so he was Sweden's winger at the time. Newcastle United's winger, he is. He says, the effing system has to go. Well, Thomason has gone. So Elanga's had an interesting World international break. His manager got sacked, and they've lost 2 games in a row, and he is not enjoying the system, even though he had a decent cameo. So let's see what kind of mind frame he comes back in. He'll come in well. I expect to be a top mind frame. Plus the fact that he's playing, for Newcastle. Hopefully, it will do him some good. It doesn't sound like being around Sweden's doing him too much. Now, before we go to Raw Tomato, let's just see what you guys are saying. Elanga's had compared to Byrne, Tonali, Bruno, he's not had the greatest. Find me the next Pedri, stick him at the 6. Yeah, absolutely. He was sacked, BT. He was sacked. Sweden's manager was sacked. Liam says Voltamada had a bit of a tough time. He always looks cut adrift for Germany. He looks to occupy similar spaces to Wirtz. Not enough crosses. This is why Newcastle system is built for him. If you want to be a centre forward, I had this in my mind the other day. Strikers don't make Newcastle. Newcastle makes strikers. That's my motto for Newcastle, honestly. And when it comes to strikers, yeah, and they do occupy the same spaces. I don't disagree with you, Liam. And actually, we'll look at the heat maps actually to see it. Elanga played pretty decent. Aaron says, "Okay. So he I thought from the stats and the metrics, it looked like it. On the left, he put the ball on a plate for that. Okay, for Isak a few times to miss it. Yeah, 4 or 5 key passes. I feel for Elanga. Thomason isn't the problem anymore." I see what you did there. Liam. I see what you did. I even forgot. Actually, when I'm talking to you, I even forgot that of all those sly digs Mr. Thomason was giving us. But anyway, karma is a funny thing, says Aaron. Him defending the rat for his decision, only for the rat to not be fit enough for his country, which ended up with him getting sacked. Football is a funny game. We have to stay humble. We have to stay so humble. That's crazy. I think if you're the Swedish Association and you've got, allegedly some of the best strikers in your national team in Jokeris and Isak, and you don't get one goal against Switzerland and against Kosovo, you know it's either the players or it's you, and more times it's going to be you. So let's look at Voltemada since we talked about him, and we'll wrap up the show. But yeah, out of everybody so far, Elanga hasn't had the greatest international time, but he has had a decent cameo despite that, which is good to see. So even if the conditions aren't exactly right, he's still performing. Right. So, oh, I didn't share the screen, so let me share with you guys now. Mr. Voltemada. Now, he obviously played against Luxembourg, where Germany won 4-0. Did he play? He did play. He started. He's starting for Germany all the time. Played 61 minutes for them. Okay, so where's his heat map? Can you guys see that? So there he is, obviously spending a lot of time between the sticks, which is what he's supposed to do. Now let me see. Did Wirtz play? Yeah, Wirtz did play. Wirtz. He did play. And you're right, Liam. Can you see that? Both on that left side. You're going to have some crossover. Obviously, a lot like Wirtz is like hot. Wirtz is on the left here. He played 90 minutes. Very heavy on that left side. Created chances, key pass, and everything else. I'm not interested in Wirtz. But the point being, he was very active. And whilst he was being active, interesting because Voltemade had 14 touches. Wirtz had 95. Jeez. So how can one player have 90? If I had time to go and opt to analysts, if they had the passing map, if anybody's got them, if anybody can go and opt to analysts and look at the passing map, if they got it for the German Luxembourg game, I'll be surprised. How can Wirtz have 95? Well, he's a midfielder. I take that. Obviously, Voltemade is a striker. But I don't think there's a game playing for Newcastle where Voltemade had 14 touches. I don't think so anyway. He had 2 key passes, though, with those 14 touches. He had 2 key passes, 71% accurate passes, 71 passing opposition half, 1 out of 5 ground duels, 1 out of 2 aerial duels. Yeah, he struggled a little bit. He struggled. His creatively, he was okay, but he struggled a bit in this Luxembourg game, Voltemada. A little bit, but played what? How many minutes did we say he played? 61 minutes. Okay, so he played 61 minutes against Luxembourg. What did he do against Northern Ireland? He scored against Northern Ireland. Germany won 1-0. His ratings were a little bit higher. Let's see. Did Wirtz play again? Wirtz did play. I'm going to put Wirtz up again. Feels like I'm picking on Wirtz. Wirtz played 89. Well, they both played 89 minutes. Here's Wirtz's. This is from right to left this time. So they're both on the left side. Yeah, some heat spots, very similar-ish positions. Let's see. Wirtz had 2 passes. How many touches on the ball did he have? So this time he had 61 touches on the ball, Wirtz. I'm going to, without seeing how many touches Nick Voltemada had, obviously he's played more minutes. I'm going to take this into account. Without seeing, guys, how many touches of the ball do you think Nick Voltemada had? I'm going to be confident and say 40 plus. He had 29 touches. Okay, maybe it's the way Germany play. He scored a goal. That's important. Total shots 2. His conversion rate is crazy. I think Bobby Fairview was telling me as well. Actually, I need to reply to him. His conversion rate is 50%. is mad. 1 out of 3 successful dribbles. He was fouled 3 times. Accurate passes 73%, 78% in opposition half. So even better going the other way. Didn't win any of his tackles, which is crazy. 5 out of 15 ground duels. He won a third of his ground duels. That's not great. I wonder why that is. And aerial duels, 3 out of 4. So he did the main thing, which is score. And he showed creativity. And he had a little bit more touches on the ball this time. He also played 89 minutes, Voltamada. What time is when are we playing Brighton? Is it a Saturday or a Sunday? I bet it's a Saturday. 18th. When's the 18th? It's a Saturday. 3 o'clock kickoff. And it's away at Brighton. Okay. So I'm going to look out for Voltamada, even though he played less minutes than Sandro Tonali, for instance. But Sandro and Bruno, I trust. I know we know they're robust. It's not to say that Voltamada isn't. But a good few of our lads played a lot of games. A lot of games. I wish I had a time to kind of take all the minutes down, but certainly Bruno Gomes, Sandro Tonali played a lot of minutes. Voltamada played about 140 minutes. Gordon played about 180 minutes. So those 4 guys played a lot of minutes. Joelinton played 30 minutes. Byrne played like 15 minutes, which isn't bad. Joelinton played 30 minutes. And Elanga played 45 minutes. A controversial 45 minutes. So all in all, actually, though, our boys have done well on international breaks. They're coming back fit. They're coming back healthy. Some of them got goals. Some of them got assists. You know, Bruno must be on. I'm sure he must be on cloud 9, to be honest. And Sandro's just running things as always. So phenomenal. But let me see what you guys are saying in the chat, and then we'll wrap things up. I think Aaron is agreeing with Liam. That's a good point, to be honest, because Voltamada and Verts do occupy the same spaces, and the heat maps do show that. Maybe getting 10 isn't the solution for us. Yes, and also because and I've heard Sean, this is what Sean Casey said, and I agree with them, is that the equivalent of what the team can do surpasses what a single 10 does in terms of creativity, assists, goals, key pass, and everything else. So I think that's how Eddie Howe's seeing it. He dropped Craw. That was his big mistake. I think that was the start of his many woes, wasn't it? Joel Thomason. Aaron says Germany have misprofiled Voltamada. Nagelsmann sees him as a target man, but he's more than that. Needs runners beyond. I watched though, but the thing is, I saw Voltamada play against. Oh, do you know what? That was the under-21s. I was going to say to you something different, but that was an under-21s game that I watched him play. And they always had players around him. He got to drop in. That was the tournament actually where he scored 6 goals. So you might be onto something there, Aaron. I think you're onto something there. Yeah, I think Eddie Howe will probably take notes and say, yeah, any ideas about number 10? Whilst Baltimore's at Newcastle, we're crossing that off. Liam Knowles says, quick shout before you close. Everyone needs to keep their heads up this weekend. We could be 2-0 up in the 90th minute and still lose to a Welbeck 2-minute hat-trick. Pokey team. Well, we're going to be doing that pre-match preview. This is the pre-match preview, sort of like. We're doing the preview game on Thursday. So make sure you remind us, Liam, all about that. So, guys, we did talk about Newcastle's with the contract situations of Tonali, Bruno, Livramento, Botman, all mentioned. But we did obviously reading Mark Douglas's article at length. But looking at Newcastle on the overall contract situations, there's at least 7, 8, 9 players, 7 or 8 players at least, where I'm like, wait, Lewis Hall, priority 2026. Goodness gracious, we need to look at him. Maybe Joelinton as well. And others that also need renewing. So we've got, Mr. Wilson's got his work cut out for him for certain as well. So maybe we need to, and maybe it's an idea for the future. We do a transfer show where we're talking about who we keep, how and if we do an increase, so what kind of wages do we offer? That'll be interesting to see. We also talked about obviously the internationals. We had about 6 or 7 players on international duty, with some playing a lot of minutes, the likes of Tonali, Bruno, Nick Voltemada, who's the fourth person, Anthony Gordon. But lots of goals, lots of assists between all of them. These seem to have a lot of higher ratings as well. So they done well. On the other hand, not on the other hand, but a few less minutes. Burn, England qualified. Burn has only played 10, 15 minutes, still fresh. Anthony Elanga played 45 minutes, but his manager got sacked and he wasn't happy with the system anyway. And who was the third person that didn't play much minutes? Joelinton played 30 minutes, halfway in decent 30 minutes, even though the Brazil fans don't rate him. But otherwise, our boys are coming back overall. They're coming back fit. They're coming back healthy, and overall playing pretty decent for their home nations as well. So Newcastle looking good. I'm looking very much forward to doing the preview with you guys this Thursday. Got a few folks already in the chat saying, Dave Barton saying, hey Philip, hey chat, sorry late to the party, so we'll watch from the start. Like and subscribe. Big up to you, Dave. Guys, do like, share, and subscribe. We had someone subscribing on tonight as well, so that's because you guys, your conversion rate when it comes to hitting the like button, sharing is absolutely phenomenal. It's getting more people coming on. We're 50 away from 1,000. I'm sure we can reach it. Aaron says, great show as always, Philip. Big up to you, Aaron. God bless you. Have a good night. And guys, with that said, make sure you have a fantastic day. Whether you're going to sleep, whether you're waking up, no matter what you're doing, make sure you're well. Make sure you look after each other. And as always, folks, God bless.